Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Further Beyond Gaming. My name is Cody GT and welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. And in today's video I thought it would be really cool to go ahead and talk about the different polearms that are obtainable in the game of Genshin Impact. And the reason being is because I thought this would be good information to provide you to decide which polearm you would want to apply to your Big Daddy Zhongli when he drops on or around December 1st. That's of course if you're going to be going for Zhongli in general, which I think you should. I think he's going to be a fantastic character, but that's completely up to you on what you want to do for your account. But nonetheless, I thought this information would be good for you to have, and really quickly a massive shout out to the Wiki fandom for being able to provide this info, as I think it's great what they did here, being able to make this easily accessible. So I'll leave a link to their channel in the description below, as well as a link to the Discord in the description below. Join the Discord today so you can discuss things like this with like-minded people, as well as if you want to, you enjoyed the video, you got something from it, go ahead and consider liking and subscribing. We're so close to 20,000 subscribers. Join the FBG family today. But with that being said, let's jump into it. So we're going to be taking a look at the 5-star and the 4-star weapons, as I think the 4-star weapons are extremely good as well. And what's really cool about the Wiki fandom is that they do show the stats at rank 1 and rank 5 refinement. So if at some point in the future you do eventually obtain dupes of the weapon, you can see what the stats will be for you eventually when you max refined rank it. As well as what's really cool with the Wiki fandom, if you do take a look at the page, if you click on the weapon name, it does tell you how you can obtain the weapons. In this case, for the Primordial Jade Winged Spear, it is through the Gacha, which I believe the 5-star polearms are all through Gacha. So it's awesome that they put that there as well. So massive shout out to the Wiki fandom once again for that information. So let's go ahead and take a look at the very first weapon. Like I mentioned, we'll be taking a look at the skills and what they're bringing to the table to decide if this is the weapon you want for your Big Daddy Zhongli. So let's take a look at it, and we'll start off with the Primordial Jade Winged Spear. Of course, the base attack is 48. It is a 5-star weapon through Gacha. The crit, or the second stat type, excuse me, is crit rate with the base second stat at 4.8%. Now at refinement rank 1, what this weapon will do for you is on hit, increases attack by 3.2% for 6 seconds. Max 7 stacks. This effect can only occur once every 0.3 seconds. While in possession of the maximum possible stacks, damage dealt is increased by 12%. So right off the bat, you could just determine that this weapon is a highly offensive or highly DPS oriented weapon, not really providing any supporting capabilities for the actual character or the team. It's just there to do damage, and as you can see, as you get to the max stacks, you're able to apply an additional damage percentage, and at refinement rank 5 it starts to get pretty ridiculous. So this is actually a really good weapon if you're trying to make your Zhongli a DPS oriented character, like your main hard hitter on the team. This is a really good one to take a look at, especially with that second stat type being crit rate. Always a good thing to have in combination with the base attack. So not bad weapon there, but like I mentioned, just DPS offensive oriented weapon for the polearm. Now we're going to take a look at the next one, which is the Kunwuz Iris Rift. I hope I didn't butcher that name. I probably did. This is a 5-star weapon, if I'm not mistaken. Like I mentioned, I think all the 5 stars are Gacha. So let me take a look here if this loads for me quickly. Do we have the information? Gacha right there. Okay. let's go ahead, let's move on. So we have that one at the Gacha. So the base attack, you can see, is a little bit lower than the Primordial Jade at 46. Now the second stat type is just attack again, which is pretty good, and then we have the base second stat at 10.8%. so not bad. That's a higher base stat than the crit rate for the Primordial Jade. Now if we take a look at the skill, increases normal attack speed by 10%, increases damage against enemies affected by any element by 24%. That's actually really good. And then you can see it at refinement rank 5. So that's not bad. Yeah, so increases normal attack speed by 10%. I mean, that's okay. That's decent. Nothing really to write home about. But increases damage against enemies affected by any element by 24%. I mean, obviously that is a little more situational, a little more niche. You obviously have to apply the element first to be able to get that attack buff. You get the normal attack speed just right off rip. Nothing that you have to do to apply that. No conditions, I should say. So it's a decent weapon. I'll be honest with you. Right now, the Primordial Jade is looking like the better option to go with. It makes sense that the second stat type is attack. Just because there's nothing else that is applying the attack unless you get the element placed on them, which obviously you're gonna be doing because that is what this game is all about. But it does have that condition first, which is a little unfortunate, to where you can see with the Primordial Jade, there's no condition there outside of the effect that can only occur once every 0.3 seconds. But outside of that, you're gonna be getting that increased attack just on hit in general. So that's the only thing. It's still a great weapon. It's just a little niche. I mean, that it does go up to 48%, and the 24% is nothing to really look over. It's still good. It's good. It's a good weapon. Don't get me wrong. Any 5-star weapon is going to be good. Now we're going to move over to the Skyward Spine, and I will tell you, this is, gosh, I don't have to click on that. I actually have this weapon on my account. And I currently have it on my Xie Ling, but this will move over to my Zhongli if I don't get any other polearms in the meantime. So it is a 5-star, it is a 48 base attack, and then the second stat type is energy recharge, and that is at 8%, which I mentioned this in a video prior that I'm looking at possibly going with an energy recharge type of build for my Zhongli for that ult spam, because I think it's going to be really beneficial. So I think this might be really good for me. We'll have to see. But moving on, we have the kit here. So it increases crit rate by 8% and increases normal attack speed by 12%. Additionally, normal and charge attack hits on enemies have a 50% chance to trigger a vacuum blade that deals 40% of attack as damage in a small AoE. This effect can occur no more than once every 2 seconds. So this is actually, I think it's a good weapon, man. And I'm not just saying that because I have it on my account. I think it's actually a good weapon because it has a lot of not only versatility, but there's a lot that it's doing for you as, you know, the character is concerned. So you're increasing your crit rate, you're increasing your normal attack speed, and then you have a bit of an AoE that has a 50% chance to proc, and that's going to be doing an additional 40% attack as damage. So when you get that to refinement rank 5, that increases the 16% crit rate, 12% attack speed, and 100% attack as damage. So obviously that won't be for a lot of people realistic, and probably wouldn't happen for a lot of people until way in the future. But still, the 40% is really nice, and that can proc every 2 seconds. So that's not a long time to wait for that to proc. So I think this is a really good weapon, and I think it would be a good one for Zhongli just because of all that it's doing. It's just a lot in the kit, and I think it's going to be very versatile. I think it's going to be beneficial for Zhongli as well. So I like the Skyward Spine. I think it's doing good stuff, and I think it would be a good 5-star weapon to put on Zhongli. So as far as the 5 stars are concerned, it just depends on what type of build you're going for Zhongli. If you're going for a just Zhongli being your main DPS, your main hard hitter, then obviously that Primordial Jade is looking like the better option. If you're looking for more versatility, more things in the kit for your Zhongli to have, then I think the Skyward Spine is going to be a better option, especially if you're trying to go for that type of ult spam build that I'm looking for, because that energy recharge, that's going to be nice. And then probably the Kunwuz Iris Rift is probably the least appealing 5-star, just in my general opinion. I mean, that 24% can be super significant, and I might be downplaying a little bit, but I just, as of right now, just on paper, it doesn't seem too impressive, but I could be wrong. By the way, the weapon looks like it's super meant for Zhongli just by the look of it. So yeah, aesthetics wise, it's probably the best one for him, just based off of the design. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the 4 stars, starting with the Crescent Pike. This one has a base attack of 44, so obviously it's going to be lower because it is a 4-star. Physical damage bonus, and that's at 7.5%. This one you can actually forge through the weapon forgery where you go to. So You can do that. And then looking at the stats or the skills, after picking up an elemental orb slash particle, normal and charge attacks deal an additional 20% attack as damage for 5 seconds. So that's not bad at all. You're going to be picking up those elemental orbs or particles pretty often, and that's going to allow you to hit a little bit harder for 5 seconds. A decent one to go ahead and apply, not a bad one to forge if you have the materials, which let me see if they actually show the materials here to go. Yeah, they do. They actually show the materials that you can use to go ahead and forge this weapon. So that's really cool right there. So if you visit the wiki fandom, you can take a look to see how you can forge this weapon or forge any 4-star weapon that you want to in the game. So not bad right there. Good on you, wiki fandom. I appreciate it. All right, so that's a pretty good one. So moving on to the Blackcliff Pole, and this is the one that you can actually get in the shop as of right now, the 4-star. So 42 for the base attack, crit damage at 12%. That's actually a pretty good percentage. Looking at the skills, after defeating an enemy, attack is increased by 12% for 30 seconds. This effect has a maximum of 3 stacks, and the duration of each stack is independent of the others. So I mentioned this in a prior video as well. I thought this was a sneaky good option for Zhongli because that attack boost for 30 seconds is extremely significant, because that's a long time in a battle. 30 seconds getting that attack boost, and you can stack it up to a maximum of 3 times. I think the numbers are going to get pretty nutty on this Blackcliff Pole. So this is one that you can obtain with the Masterless Star Glitter, if I'm not mistaken. That is the material. So definitely look into this one. It's a sneaky good option, I believe. And then moving on to the Dragon's Bane. Once again, another 4-star. I believe this one might be Gacha only, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look here. Yeah, this one is Gacha only. Okay. So let's take a look at the, where am I at here? I think I went down a little bit. Okay, so the base attack is 41. The substat is the Elemental Mastery, and that's at 48. Increases damage against enemies affected by Hydro or Pyro by 20%. I mean, decent. Once again, it has a condition. It's a bit niche. You have to have a Hydro or Pyro character on your team for that. So I think it's okay. I'm not a huge fan of that Dragon's Bane on Zhongli in particular. Moving over to the Prototype Grudge, once again another one that you can forge with the materials. It's got a 42 base attack, energy recharge as a substat at 10%. This is a sneaky good option as well. After using an elemental skill, increases normal and charge attack damage by 8% for 12 seconds, max 2 stacks. I think this is going to be a good one because I believe you're going to be using elemental skills on Zhongli a lot. And that's going to be able to allow you to hit harder anyway. So I think this is a good option. I think this is going to be a good one to go for as a 4-star. To be able to forge free to play, not bad at all. And then we have the Deathmatch, which is the one weapon that you can obtain from the Battle Pass. Has attack of 41, crit rate at 8%. If there's at least 2 enemies nearby, attack is increased by 16% and defense is increased by 16%. If there are less than 2 enemies nearby, attack is increased by 24%. I think this is going to be a really good option for Zhongli as well. Sneaky good option because you're always, I would say probably 95% of the time, fighting 2 or more enemies. This is only really applicable to like boss fights, but even in boss fights, you're getting an additional attack percentage. So your attack is higher, you just don't have that defensive buff. So I think this is actually a really good 4-star option to choose as well, with substat being crit rate. I think this is going to be really good for Zhongli. So one that you might want to consider going forward in the Battle Pass. Alright, now moving over to the Olythic Spear. Now this is one that I'm not too familiar with, so this will be interesting to take a look at. And this is Gacha only, so I haven't even seen any information or really anybody pulling or obtaining that weapon. So like I mentioned, I'm not too familiar with this one, but this is a 4-star. It has the base attack at 42, physical damage bonus at 9%. Normal attack hits have a 20% chance of causing the next charge attack performed in the following 10 seconds to deal 40% increased damage. Now, it's only a 20% chance, and they don't even have refinement rank 5, so I don't even know if this is one to really talk about with the physical damage bonus at 9%. So I'm not sure if this one is actually in the game as of right now, so I do truly apologize. Let me know in the comments down below if you know, because I'm not entirely too sure. But this is a really good one. I mean, that's a high increase damage percentage right there. It is a low chance to proc, but yeah, that's a very interesting one. I think that'd be a fun one to play with to see what type of damages you can get, but I don't think that would be really the most advantageous one to put on your Zhongli, to be honest. I think the other ones that we just spoke about are a little bit more, what's the right word? I can't think of the right word. More applicable, a safer bet. I don't know the right word for it, but this one just seems a little niche, like if you're just trying to do some crazy numbers to see what you could put up. I think that would be an interesting one to go ahead and take a look at, but not necessarily the most advantageous one to put on your Zhongli. And then moving over to the Favonius Lance, the last 4-star. 44 for the attack. The energy recharge, once again, very interesting, 6.7%. Crit hits have a 60% chance to generate a small amount of elemental particles, which will regenerate 6 energy for the character. Can only occur once every 12 seconds. So this goes more into that ult spam build that I was speaking about. I don't think this would be in particular a good one to go ahead and have on Zhongli, just because it's only for that ult spam build, so there's no like additional attack percentage or anything of that nature. But it still would be one to go ahead and try out if you're trying to go for that ult spam build and you're trying to, you know, petrify the enemies as often as possible. So yeah, this is a interesting one to take a look at, but not necessarily, I think, the best one to go ahead and put on him. So out of the 4 stars, I think that the Blackcliff Pole is very interesting, and the Deathmatch are probably the 2 best 4 stars I think that you should be looking into. Let me take a look here. Even the Prototype Grudge is really good as well. So I think those are the 3 4 stars that would be the best for Zhongli, just based off of what I'm reading here and what I'm taking a look at. So those are for the 4 stars. As far as the 5 stars, once again, it depends on the build. If you're going main DPS, main hard hitter, then obviously the Primordial Jade. But if you're going for more of a well-rounded build, just all around providing good attack, you know, good versatility, then I think the Skyward Spine will be the way to go with that one. And then the Kunwuz Iris Rift, I would have to play with that one myself and see. But I think out of the 5 stars, those are the ones that you should be going for. So nonetheless, guys, I hope this video was a bit informative. I know it was a little bit lengthier, so I do apologize. But I do hope you got something from it, and I hope this at least gave you a better idea of what you might want to go for when it comes to building out your Zhongli, if once again you're going for that Big Daddy Zhongli. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. And until next time, my boys, until next time, it's your homie Cody GT, and I'm out. Bye, guys.